What up? Welcome to the channel. I'm Harlan D. White. Today is a great topic, which is teaching your kids how to budget. I'm actually in the beginning stages myself. I have a 14-year-old son, and what I want to walk through today are my initial plans, which I fully intend on modifying along the way as I get his input as well as I take advantage of my observations. If you're watching this video, you're probably just like me, where you weren't taught how to budget or handle money in general as a youth. So I think we can all agree that the earlier, the better. As some of you know, I recently opened up a youth fidelity account, which is available to teens ages 13 to 17, so that I can start teaching him all about investing. And so, to set the proper foundation, I think it's extremely important to teach him how to budget, track his spending, as well as review his spending and understand where his money is going. If you're new to my channel, over the last year or so, I've been documenting my journey of eliminating almost $50,000 in debt. Right now, I have just under $4,000 remaining, one more debt to pay off, and that's a 401k loan. And throughout this journey, I've been learning a lot that I really would love to share with my kids so that they don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. Now, whether or not they listen or not, that's a completely different story. However, I do feel as though as long as you plant the seed and nurture it, at some point it will grow. With all that said, let's go ahead and jump over to YNAB and I'll walk you through the initial budget structure that I plan on using with my son. All right, so here's YNAB, or You Need a Budget, and it's a tool that I use personally to budget, track my spending, as well as look at monthly reports. As a result, this is why I'm teaching my son how to utilize this tool as well. What you see right up here on the screen right now is my own personal budget. So if we were to scroll through, this would not make sense for a teen to have a budget with this many budget categories as well as categories in general. So what we'll go ahead and do is create a new budget for my son, and we'll call it son's budget. And what I'll do after this video is I'll have him go in here and create his own budget and teach him how to do that so that he'll know how to do it moving forward. Now, once the budget is created, what you'll see is all of the standard categories that YNAB comes up with when you create a new budget. And, YNAB gives you the opportunity to modify it. And that's exactly what we will be doing today because, again, it doesn't make sense for a teen to have this many budget categories or categories in general. And so, what you'll see me start off doing is the initial three categories are going to be focused on giving, saving, as well as investing. Now, these three categories are ones that I'm going to essentially require him to put at least 10% of his money into each one of those categories. And then the final category will be one of 70% that he can do whatever he wants with. All right, so what we'll do is start off by modifying these categories. And like I said, the first one's going to be giving. And then just going to have one category, charity. And what I'll let him do is determine where he wants to give the money to. And that's all I'm going to have in under that particular budget category. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete the rest of these. All right, so the next category group that I want to put in here is saving. And the initial category will be emergency fund. And ideally, what I would like him to do with this particular category is to save up $1,000 into his emergency fund. And then at that point, we can decide if there's any other areas that he really needs to start saving for. All right. And then I'm going to delete the rest of these. All right. So the third category is investing, or the third category group is investing. All right. And then under investing, what I'll have is stocks and crypto. Now, when it comes to these particular categories, what I'll mainly steer him to in the beginning is investing in index funds as well as Bitcoin specifically when it comes to crypto. However, as he learns more, I'll give him a little bit more freedom. Additionally, right up front, I'll probably give him the option to choose an individual stock as well. That way, it might pique his interest a little bit more. All right, so the final category group that I'm going to put for his budget is flexible spending. All right, so this is the category where he'll have complete control over 70% of the money he receives for allowances. And so, under this particular category group, we'll have fun money, food. This way, he can track how much he's wasting when he decides to go order Uber Eats or something like that. And the next category that I'm going to suggest for him is items over $40. Now, with this particular budget category, I'm hoping to teach him about short term savings, how if he does not have enough this particular period, then he can save up two allowance periods or three allowance periods until he has enough to buy what he wants to buy here in the short term. The next category that I'm going to add will be gifts. So start teaching him how to save up for gifts for things like his parents' birthdays or Christmas, etc. And then the last category that I will add is wants. I had it originally as other, but essentially what this category will be meant for is, other things that he wants that may not particularly fall into these other categories. And then with YNAB, it's really easy to rearrange these. So again, I'll have him take a look at this, see if he has any other suggestions as far as categories, and then we can kind of revisit how best to arrange it. So with that said, what I'll do is go ahead and delete this category group. All right, so this is the budget that we're going to start off with. And, I'm just going to tell them right up front that budgeting is not natural. However, let's give it at least 3 months to really get the hang of it. And then hopefully by that point in time, he'll start seeing his bank balances grow and really get excited about this whole process of learning about personal finances. All right, so that is it. That's all I wanted to cover today. But if you do have any experience in teaching your own teens about personal finances, I would love to hear about it in the comment section below. If you're interested in more content like this, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Until next time.